Growing your own food isn't just a skill, it's a survival strategy. When hard times hit, having a garden filled with nutrient-packed, high-yield crops can keep you and your family fed. Whether you're prepping for economic collapse, food shortages, or just want more control over your food supply, a survival garden is a must-have. In this video, we'll cover everything from choosing the best crops to designing a garden that works even in small spaces. By the end, you'll have the tools and knowledge to grow your own ultimate survival garden. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more survival tips, prepping strategies, and self-sufficiency advice. Let's get into it. 1. Why a survival garden matters. Food security is more fragile than most people realize. Supply chain disruptions, natural disasters, or economic instability can leave grocery store shelves empty, leaving families vulnerable. That's why a survival garden is crucial. It gives you control over your food supply, reduces reliance on outside systems, and ensures you have access to fresh, healthy food, even when times are tough. Survival gardens are about more than growing food. They're about building resilience. By growing crops tailored to survival like potatoes, beans, and leafy greens, you're creating a self-replenishing food source that can sustain you long-term. Plus, gardening offers more than just food. It provides a therapeutic activity, reduces stress, and helps you build skills like composting, seed saving, and soil management, skills that can make a huge difference in a crisis. 2. Prepping your gardening tools and supplies. A survival garden requires more than seeds and soil. Having the right tools and supplies can make or break your gardening efforts. Start with essentials like a sturdy shovel, hand trowels, pruning shears, and a hoe for soil preparation. Invest in durable gloves to protect your hands, and consider getting a soil tester kit to ensure your plants have the right growing conditions. Don't forget about watering supplies like hoses, watering cans, and drip irrigation systems. For pest control, stock up on natural repellents and protective netting. If you're growing in raised beds or containers, be sure to have extra soil and compost on hand. Seed storage is also critical. Store your seeds in airtight, moisture-proof containers to extend their shelf life. Consider purchasing heirloom seeds. They allow you to save seeds from your harvest, ensuring a continuous supply for future planting seasons. By gathering your tools and supplies now, you'll be ready to plant and maintain your garden when the time comes. 3. Choosing high-yield, resilient crops. When it comes to survival gardening, not all crops are created equal. The goal is to grow food that's easy to maintain, produces a lot in a small space, and is packed with nutrients. Here are the best crops for your survival garden. Potatoes, a calorie-dense staple crop that thrives in various climates. Plant them in raised beds, buckets, or grow bags for maximum efficiency. Beans, both green beans and dried beans are excellent sources of protein. Pole beans are particularly great for vertical gardens, saving ground space. Leafy greens, spinach, kale, and Swiss chard grow quickly, are nutrient-rich, and can be harvested multiple times. Root vegetables. Carrots and beets are resilient, nutritious, and store well for long periods. Squash and zucchini. These are prolific growers, with just a few plants producing enough to feed a family for weeks. Herbs, basil, oregano, and thyme are multi-purpose. Use them for cooking, natural medicine, or trading. Fruits. Dwarf fruit trees, berry bushes, or strawberries in containers are perfect for small spaces. These crops balance calorie density, nutritional value, and ease of growth, making them ideal for any survival setup. 4. Designing your garden. Even if you have limited space, you can create an efficient, productive survival garden. Start by analyzing your available area and selecting a gardening method that works for you. 1. Raised beds. Raised beds are perfect for backyards. They improve soil control and drainage, making them ideal for beginners. 2. Vertical gardening. Use trellises or wall planters to grow crops like beans, tomatoes, or cucumbers. Vertical gardening maximizes space and allows for easier maintenance. 3. Containers. If you live in an apartment or have limited outdoor space, grow potatoes, carrots, or leafy greens in buckets or large pots. 4. Companion planting. Pair crops like marigolds with vegetables to naturally repel pests and boost yields. Don't forget to plan your layout strategically. Place taller plants like corn or sunflowers on the north side of your garden to avoid shading smaller crops. Group plants with similar water and sunlight needs together. Finally, make pathways wide enough to access every part of your garden easily. A well-designed garden is easier to maintain and produces better results. 5. Improving soil. Healthy soil is the foundation of any productive garden. Without it, your plants won't thrive no matter how much effort you put in. Start by testing your soil to understand its pH and nutrient levels. Most survival crops prefer soil that's slightly acidic to neutral, pH 6-7. Add organic matter like compost, manure, or leaf mulch to enrich the soil with nutrients. Composting your kitchen scraps is a cost-effective way to create nutrient-rich material for your garden. If your soil is heavy and clay-like, mix in sand or perlite to improve drainage. For sandy soil, add organic matter to retain moisture. Don't forget about crop rotation. Planting the same crops in the same spot every year can deplete soil nutrients and encourage pests. Rotate your crops seasonally to keep the soil healthy and reduce pest issues. With the right care, your soil will become a powerhouse for growing nutrient-dense food. 6. Harvesting and preserving your crops. A survival garden is only as effective as your ability to harvest and preserve what you grow. Harvesting at the right time is crucial to maximizing the nutritional value of your crops. For leafy greens, pick the outer leaves as they mature, leaving the inner ones to continue growing. Root vegetables like carrots and potatoes should be harvested when their tops begin to wither, signaling they're ready. Once you've harvested, preservation becomes the next priority. Canning is one of the most reliable methods for long-term storage. Pressure canners are perfect for vegetables and beans, while water bath canning works well for high-acid foods like tomatoes. Dehydration is another excellent option. A food dehydrator or even a DIY solar dehydrator can dry fruits, vegetables, and herbs for long-term storage. Freezing is quick and easy but relies on electricity. If off-grid storage is your goal, consider fermentation, which not only preserves food but enhances its nutritional profile. Stockpile essential items like jars, lids, and vacuum seal bags to ensure your preservation efforts are seamless. Preserving your harvest ensures you'll have a steady food supply, even during the off-season or in times of crisis. 7. Managing pests and diseases. Naturally, pests and diseases can wreak havoc on your garden if left unchecked. However, chemical pesticides aren't ideal for a survival garden, especially if you want to keep it organic and sustainable. Natural pest control methods can protect your crops without compromising your health or the environment. One of the best strategies is prevention. Keep your garden tidy by removing weeds, fallen leaves, and debris where pests often hide. Practice crop rotation to prevent soil-borne diseases from becoming an issue. Companion planting is another effective method. For example, planting marigolds near vegetables can deter aphids, while basil can repel flies and mosquitoes. For active infestations, consider natural sprays made from neem oil or a mixture of garlic and water. These are safe, effective, and easy to make at home. Introducing beneficial insects like ladybugs or praying mantises can also help keep harmful pests under control. If diseases like blight or mildew appear, remove affected leaves immediately to prevent spreading. By staying proactive, you can protect your garden and ensure a healthy, bountiful harvest. 8. Saving seeds for future planting. Seed saving is a vital skill for any prepper. It allows you to maintain a continuous supply of plants without relying on store-bought seeds, making your garden truly self-sufficient. Start by choosing heirloom or open-pollinated varieties, as these produce seeds that remain true to their parent plants. Avoid hybrid seeds, which often don't produce reliable offspring. To save seeds, allow your plants to fully mature. For example, let beans dry on the vine or let leafy greens like lettuce bolt and produce seed pods. Once the seeds are ready, dry them thoroughly to prevent mold. Store them in airtight containers, labeling each with the crop name and harvest date. Keep your seeds in a cool, dark place like a pantry or refrigerator to extend their shelf life. Seed saving not only saves money but also builds resilience. Over time, the seeds you save will adapt to your local growing conditions, making them hardier and more productive. This skill is an essential step in creating a sustainable, long-term survival garden. 9. Gardening in challenging conditions. Not everyone has the luxury of perfect gardening conditions. If you're dealing with limited space, poor soil, or an unpredictable climate, you can still grow a successful survival garden with a few adjustments. For small spaces, embrace container gardening. Use pots, buckets, or grow bags to cultivate everything from tomatoes to potatoes. Vertical gardening is another excellent option, allowing you to grow upwards instead of outwards. In poor soil conditions, raised beds or no-dig gardening can make a huge difference. Fill these beds with nutrient-rich soil and compost to give your crops the best start. If water is scarce, focus on drought-tolerant crops like sweet potatoes and use mulch to retain soil moisture. Drip irrigation systems can also help conserve water by delivering it directly to the roots. For cold climates, consider using greenhouses, cold frames, or row covers to extend your growing season. If you're in a hot climate, provide shade for sensitive crops during the hottest parts of the day. No matter your challenges, adaptability is key. By tailoring your garden to your conditions, you can create a resilient food source anywhere. 10. Building a year-round food supply. A truly effective survival garden doesn't stop producing when the seasons change. By planning for year-round production, you can ensure a steady food supply no matter the time of year. Start by incorporating perennial crops like asparagus, rhubarb, and berry bushes. These plants come back year after year, providing reliable harvests with minimal effort. For annual crops, use succession planting to stagger harvests. For example, plant lettuce or radishes every 2 weeks to maintain a constant supply. In colder months, focus on hardy winter crops like kale, spinach, and carrots. Use cold frames, greenhouses, or even indoor grow lights to extend your growing season. Root cellars are a fantastic way to store harvested crops like potatoes, onions, and squash through the winter. Don't overlook sprouting and microgreens. These nutrient-dense foods can be grown indoors year-round with minimal space and effort. By diversifying your planting strategies and storage methods, you can maintain a self-sufficient food supply no matter the season. Building a year-round garden takes planning and effort, but the payoff is immense: consistent access to fresh, homegrown food when you need it most. By following these tips, you'll be well on your way to creating a survival garden that's efficient, productive, and ready for any crisis. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Stay safe, stay prepared, and happy gardening.